The end is near. All the prophecies are coming true. Come to Jesus before it's too late.
The stirring of the soul. Initial awakening. Every spiritual journey often begins with an internal stirring, a quiet sense of longing for meaning and transcendence. This longing may come in moments of beauty or pain, in times of doubt or joy. It's a call towards something greater, a recognition that there is more to life than what is visible and tangible. The universal search for God, whether expressed through religious structures or through personal contemplation, the search for God is a universal human experience. Across cultures and times, people have felt the pull toward understanding and experiencing the divine. The personal call, experiences of longing and wonder. Moments of wonder, nature, art, or acts of kindness can become windows to the divine, offering glimpses into a reality that goes beyond the material world. These moments plant the seed for a deeper journey toward God.
Moments of suffering. Just as joy can lead one toward God, so can suffering. Pain, loss, and life's trials can push people to seek solace and answers in God. The human need for hope in times of darkness is often the catalyst for spiritual searching. Personal stories of spiritual longing, narratives from saints, mystics, and everyday individuals who have felt the deep desire for connection with the divine, and how these desires shaped their lives. Prayer, the language of the heart. What is prayer? A reflection on how different spiritual traditions view prayer, not as mere ritual, but as a heartfelt conversation with God. Prayer can be formal or informal, spoken or silent, personal or communal. Prayer as a path to closeness. By praying, you open a channel of communication with the divine. Over time, this practice fosters intimacy and trust, leading to a deeper awareness of God's presence. Transformative power of prayer. Examples from religious texts and personal testimonies that show how prayer has been a key element in spiritual growth and transformation. How prayer can soften the heart, shape one's desires, and bring comfort and clarity. Different forms of prayer. Explore the diversity of prayer practices across religious traditions: petition, praise, thanksgiving, intercession, meditation, and contemplative prayer. Scripture and sacred texts, the wisdom of ages. Sacred texts as guides, the role that holy texts like the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, or Buddhist sutras play in guiding believers toward God. These texts provide both wisdom and encouragement for those seeking a closer relationship with God. Encountering God through Scripture, how the act of reading, reflecting, and meditating on sacred writings allows people to feel connected to the divine. Through these texts, believers often feel God speaks directly to them, the living Word. Many traditions emphasize that sacred texts are not just historical documents, but are alive with meaning, capable of speaking into one's life at any moment, revealing truths that draw a person closer to God. The challenge of faith, doubt, fear, and struggle. Facing doubts on the journey. Doubt is an inevitable part of coming closer to God. Faith often involves wrestling with questions about God's existence, the problem of evil, and personal doubts about worthiness or capability to connect with God. Overcoming fear, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, or fear of being unworthy of God's love can impede the spiritual journey. How individuals overcome these fears and learn to trust in God's goodness and grace. Spiritual dryness and the dark night of the soul. Many spiritual seekers go through periods of spiritual dryness or feel that God is distant. Explore how these difficult times can become powerful opportunities for growth. Surrender, letting go to be closer to God. The power of surrender. A pivotal moment in many spiritual journeys comes when individuals realize that coming closer to God requires a letting go of control. Surrendering ego, plans, and desires allows for a deeper relationship with the divine. The challenge of surrender. Surrender is difficult because it involves trust, trusting God's will over your own. Examples from religious figures who exemplified this kind of surrender, such as Jesus in Gethsemane or the Buddha's renunciation. Freedom in surrender. Paradoxically, surrendering to God brings a sense of freedom and peace. Trusting that God is guiding your path can release anxiety and give a sense of purpose and direction. Transformation, becoming more like God, spiritual growth. As transformation, coming closer to God isn't just about changing beliefs or behaviors, it's about an internal transformation of the heart. Over time, this transformation leads one to reflect more of God's character, compassion, mercy, patience, and love. The fruits of the Spirit. Many religious traditions speak of the transformative effects of closeness to God, often described as the fruits of the Spirit. Qualities like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Holiness and wholeness. Being close to God is often associated with a process of sanctification, becoming more whole and holy. This transformation impacts all aspects of life: relationships, work, purpose, and identity. God in everyday life. Finding the divine in the ordinary, sacredness in the everyday. Closeness to God is not just experienced in moments of prayer or worship, but also in the mundane. As you grow closer to God, you begin to see His presence in the simple, everyday activities of life. The practice of gratitude. Gratitude becomes a natural response as you become more attuned to the blessings around you. Even in small, ordinary things, you recognize God's hand at work. Loving others as an expression of closeness to God. As your relationship with God deepens, it naturally overflows into your relationships with others. Acts of kindness, compassion, and forgiveness become extensions of your connection with the divine. The role of community, walking together toward God. The importance of spiritual community. No one walks the spiritual path alone. Being part of a community of faith can support and encourage you in your journey toward God. Whether through church, mosque, temple, or informal gatherings, community provides accountability and shared wisdom. Learning from others' faith journeys. Stories of faith from others can inspire and guide you. Each person's journey is unique, but there are common experiences of joy, doubt, and transformation that can offer strength and insight. Serving and worshiping together. Acts of service and communal worship are powerful ways to experience God. When people come together to help others or to honor God, they create a sacred space that draws each person closer to the divine. Conclusion: the unfolding journey. The journey never ends. Coming closer to God is not a destination, but a lifelong journey. Each day offers new opportunities to grow in understanding, love, and faith. The promise of God's presence. Even though the path is sometimes challenging, the promise is that God is always near. Whether in moments of joy, sorrow, or stillness, the divine presence is always accessible, ready to guide, comfort, and transform, living in God's love. Ultimately, the journey toward God is about learning to live fully in God's love and sharing that love with the world around you. As you come closer to God, your life becomes a reflection of that divine love, a light that shines in the darkness,